I worry that internet safety is not a thing that is taught anymore as a kid. I have a question. Is there a certain age I have to be? I was checking out the rules and I didn't see anything about age, so just wanted to make sure. So I will say, for your age, do your best not to state your age, because in general, putting your name, age, location, school, or even like state or country you live in can be dangerous information to share. However, I do tend to keep my streams TOS friendly, so 13 plus. There's the occasional mature topics, but nothing really that I don't think a 13-year-old couldn't handle. I worry that internet safety is not a thing that is taught anymore as a kid. General rules, if you do not know these rules, I learned these in high school, I think. Maybe I learned it younger, actually. But like, don't say where you're from, say your age, don't say anything about like your personal life and location. You have to kind of pretend and act like you are in your early 20s at all times, unless it is a safe space to not do so, if that makes sense. Because no matter how safe an environment you think it is on the internet, if somehow that information gets leaked, not necessarily by the person you send it to, but like by someone else, there are hacks. There are things that even I don't understand, but must be wary of. Don't put your personal information online. There are some instances where you might. Say you need to let a friend know where you are, you know, and you Snapchat them your information, or you Instagram DM them. I don't know, any of the socials really. Do your best to delete that information as soon as you can, because you never know. Get your friend to record it, and then you never know. Like if you're going to a concert, or you're potentially meeting up with someone from online, tell other people. That includes DMs and platforms like Discord. The DMs are on Discord servers and can be leaked. Yes. Because here's the thing. The internet has not gotten more safe. It has not necessarily gotten more dangerous, but it has not gotten more safe. Also, don't be telling people your birthday. Don't give them your name, your birthday, and where you live, because that's a great way to impersonate someone. But internet safety, when you're asked to provide photo IDs to browse Twitter, don't do that. Don't provide your ID to social media sites. It's hard to explain because some content creators need to do it. For more adult sites, I understand. However, there's still a tricky aspect of it, such as for those particular sites. There's one, for example, where you have to upload your ID in order to post content. This is still a weird gray area, but I understand the thought process behind it. I understand it. I don't fully agree with social medias that are meant to be public needing ID, because that is an amazing way for people to get doxxed or stalked. The internet has changed and will continue to change faster than laws can possibly keep up with. And that is where the tricky part lies. Is some people think that basically banning and censoring it entirely is the safest thing to do, which I heavily disagree with. Censorship is a nuke, not a scalpel. Who decides what needs to be censored? If there is someone deciding it, what is the agenda they have? What are the biases they have, you know? Basically delete a Facebook account if you have it. Don't remember how much info you can retain from public. Yeah. I'm very thankful that as a teenager, I fell out of posting pictures of myself. Pictures of myself don't actually exist online because at a fairly young age, older teenager area, I saw the dangers of what people could potentially do with pictures I post. Like I saw what happened with Shia LaBeouf getting doxxed and the flag incident, and I went, people can find it from there, and people are still posting pictures of like their houses and their families and their vacations, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I am not risking myself or my family and loved ones for like internet clout. People need to know the internet is full of goblins that will steal your chicken nuggies. Don't let them know where you are. Don't do it. YouTube is 13 plus and ID to prove you're 18 is stupid. It is really stupid. So the frustrating thing, I was talking with a friend about this the other day, is so VR chat, I would consider VR chat, especially public lobbies, not necessarily private ones. I would consider public VR chat 18 plus. However, Roblox is just kind of VR chat, but with more games for kind of all ages. Here's the thing. When people get too old for the Roblox space, will they just migrate to VR chat? Probably not. People who grew up in the space won't leave the space. Instead, they will start pushing out the newcomer youth that try to get into the space. Or you have the Roblox current problem of predators on there. There really are no kid spaces anymore. Like, just look at Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday, and it's basically dead because there are no communities anywhere. And it really, really sucks. Like, it sucks so bad. I feel worried for my nephew because I don't know what sort of community he's going to have after school. You know, the male loneliness epidemic. It's just like, there are different nuances to each group's kind of loneliness. Absolutely. But everyone is becoming more lonely nowadays because there is no sense of community. If people cannot buy a house to live in and are constantly renting and constantly moving where it is cheaper, that is uprooting them away from their families. It is separating them from their roots so that it is harder to establish communities. So people are not getting close to each other because what is the point of getting close if you are potentially going to have to leave anyways? There's a lot of aspects to it, and it all boils down to capitalism. So online spaces are the closest thing we have to that. However, with what is happening online, it is really tricky because how do you find the right space? As an adult, it's easier. You can browse different sites, different applications and worlds and VR chat, even Roblox. But for children who don't have the same internet safety, there are no spaces. There are no safe spaces to be a child. We're talking dystopia, more talking about modern reality, which can seem very similar. Make sure your cousin stays in shape. That opens some doors in relationship with others. Sounds dumb, but increases your self-esteem and how others treat you. Smile back. That's true. Keeping yourself healthy is very important. What should we do to solve the problem on the internet? The truth of the matter is, I don't have a full answer. Things have gotten to the point where it's kind of a spiral. In order to fix what is on the problem with the internet online is we have to bring back the websites that kids had, such as like Webkins, Neopets, that Disney website, you know, Club Penguin sort of stuff. But again, because we can't age verify anything, because I think age verification is not a good idea, well, it's tough because a lot of the times when kids get into 18 plus spaces, it is because their parents are not monitoring them enough. And even if your parents are monitoring you, it leads to a different problem of the kids don't have enough freedom. So it's a matter of teaching kids internet safety, what places are safe to go, and trusting that they will know how to act responsibly, and checking in with them every once in a while. Basically, it requires the parent to foster a very healthy, non-judgmental space with their kids so that their kids can tell them what's happening and the parents can identify if the kids are being preyed upon or groomed. It is a whole problem that requires a lot of patience, time, empathy, and killing of your ego as a parent. And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people would rather just say yes, tell their kids yes to this, no to this, and tell people we must change the internet to be safe for our kids. It's basically shifting blame away from the root cause and the root problems. But in order to fix the internet, we have to fix things outside of the internet. We have to make sure that housing is affordable, that people can build communities, that public services are completely funded. Basically, it comes to a whole system failing. It is a bigger picture that cannot be solved by just one thing. It has to be solved by many things. And most of it is making sure that people have good, fulfilling lives.